several people asked me how I made the photo paper dolls that I made for my granddaughters. So I thought I'd try doing a video tutorial. Um, these are the materials that you need: a photo, scissors, some paper for making the clothes, and if you want it to be backed with a magnet, you can buy magnetic sheeting in just about any craft store for about $2 a sheet. This one is 5 inches wide by 7 inches high. There's about really three main steps in doing this. First, the photography step. You need to have your model pose with hands out and feet slightly apart, so that you don't have any body parts covering up any other body parts. That just makes it easier to do the clothes and the cutting out. After you've taken the photo, you need to upload it to your computer and crop it as close to the body as possible, so that just to save on your backing. You don't need any extra. The background's going to go away. It will all be cut out, so the background doesn't really matter. Print it then in the size that you want it to be. Mine had to be less than 7 inches tall because that was the size of the sheet of my magnetic backing. So I printed it out 7 inches by, I think it was about 3 inches wide, with her hands out. I printed it on glossy photo paper. Matte or cardstock would work just as well. And once I got it printed out, I cut it loosely around, not right on her little body, but just loosely around her form, again just to save on your backing and make sure it all fit. Once I had the shape cut out, the magnetic backing is peel and stick, and some of it definitely peels off easier than others. I went ahead and tried getting the backing off and had a little trouble, but once it's peeled off, then you're going to apply it, smoothing it out, putting it on your magnetic piece, smoothing it out, and then you're going to be cutting very close, right on her outline of her little body. Make sure when you pose your model, in addition to the way she's standing, hands out and feet apart, also make sure that she's wearing a bathing suit or underwear or something that can easily be covered up by the paper doll clothes that you're going to be making. And then when you have it all cut out, it will look like this: magnetic on the back, paper doll on the front, and the fun part begins. So that was step 2. First the photography, then mounting it on something, and then the fun part is making the clothes. And this is where your youngsters can help design things. If you wanted to invest in more magnetic strips, you could even make the clothes magnetic so that they would stick on too, and stick it on the refrigerator or whatever. I chose to do it the old-fashioned way with tabs, and you can use really pretty much anything. This is just a sheet of, not cardstock, lightweight scrapbooking paper, and I used that to make like a little pajama. I guess that's a pajama. And then embellished it a little bit with felt markers. You can get an idea of that. This is a scribble that my little granddaughter did, and I thought that would make a cute t-shirt. Now if you're going to be doing something real form-fitting, you can do it right side of the doll on top of right side of the paper. But if you don't want your scribbles to show on the body, it's easier to do it wrong side on wrong side, and I'm going to do that. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but just for the sake of demonstrating it, I'm going to do it this way. this is just going to be a little t-shirt, but I want to know exactly where her body parts are so that I know the minimum coverage of the little garment. So I go to the neck, to the shoulders, part way down the arms because it's going to be short sleeved, and pick it up and fill in, making a little neck, the bottom of the shirt, bottom of the sleeves, and making sure to remember to do tabs to hold it in place. And then cut it out and turn it over and see what we've got. On something very form-fitting like a bathing suit, you could probably do your drawing, doing your outline of the body shape right on the right side of your paper cardstock. Use your imagination. I've tried using some magazine photos and prints that look like they would be fun to use. I mentioned children's drawings and scribbles. There's a lot of beautiful, depending on how much you want to invest in this. I kind of like repurposing things, but there's so many beautiful papers out there that you could use as prints. If you have a child old enough that's got some pretty good small motor dexterity and could do an all-over print of polka dots or flowers or something, you could come up with something very cute. But here it is. Any little 3-year-old would be very proud to see their scribbling used to make a cute little garment. So there's that scribble turned into a t-shirt. I used this magazine picture with the clouds. I thought that would make a cute looking little sweater shirt type thing, and I taped the blue for the pants. I just taped that on there to make some skinny jeans under the sweater. That turned out real cute. And I used this black polka dot magazine page to do a little tunic. If you want to add shoes to your fashion, you can do it the same way, just outlining the whole foot and making it all one piece, and add the coloring and embellishing to make the outlines to differentiate it later on, and that should work just fine. So this is a print that just a graphics program I have had this kind of crazy surfboardy kind of print, and I thought it might be fun to use some pieces of that and see what they look like, and that turned out pretty cute for a dress. And then I laid her down on top of this part that was a surfboard, just laid her out that way and outlined the body, and it was important the arms didn't matter and the legs didn't matter, but the crotch and the sides were important. And so I wound up incorporating that little star pattern and stripe pattern. Well, this would be better if it was on a refrigerator door or something where I could stand it up, but there's a little bathing suit. That's it. I hope this was helpful.